Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a wonderful day. The first thing I want to do, I have a number of requests to try to do, and I know it's quite a bit of, it'll take quite a bit of time to get through them all. Not sure if we'll be able to do all of that right away, but just know that I'm working on them. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a quick load order or mod list video here. Show you some different things that I'm doing. None of this has really, well, that's not true. A lot of this has not changed since the last one I did, but I try to do something like this every month so that we have something, we know what's going on, and we have something to go by. So, of course, you know, starting here in Skyrim, I have the unofficial, you know, special edition patch. We are still working and testing the rebalanced encounter zones. I was going to do more of that with Porthos as a mage, but I ended up doing more of it with Jade, and I'm probably going to have Porthos be something other than a mage and still, you know, do some playthrough with him as well. But I just wanted you to know that inadvertently, due to, I guess just due to my fooling around, I ended up using Jade for a lot of this, and so nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, just a difference in who the character I'm using. Pardon me, having a little coffee, and I think I had the mic too close. Of course, I'm still using Dragonborn Delayed, and I have the Dawnguard starts at level 40. We did finish our test of the level 25 one with Crom, and that worked okay. I have Voluptuous Grasses still using this combination of tree mods. This is the Skyrim Floral Overhaul trees, Dark Forest, and Trees add-on, and I have the Trees add-on cities, and out of these, I would say the cities one probably does the least for me, but I've sort of just held on to it because it doesn't really hurt anything, and but mainly I think these three have gave me good trees. So, and then I'm doing Autumn Skies. I took that out, but I brought it back, and I'm just brightening my game up a little bit to make up for it. A lot of lighting mods like to darken the game a little bit, and I don't have a huge problem with that, but sometimes when it affects my videos or it affects my screenshots that I'm using, like for different thumbnails and different things, then it becomes, you know, kind of a hassle for me. Let's see, we have the Enhanced Night Sky. This is just an old, I just like it. It's kind of like the one moon thing in Fallout 4 I really like. This is kind of like that. It just gives me more of a sci-fi feel, and it's kind of fun for me. Sarcastic Dragons, Dynamic Moons, Display Enhancements, Free Camera. Free Camera is primarily for use in some shows, and I use it less and less, but I keep it around because sometimes it comes in handy. For certain pictures, for certain poses, it's better. Amazing follower tweaks. I have the auto unequipped shields to back. I do like that. And some people might not like the fact that if you have a modded shield, it's not a vanilla shield. A shield that the mod does not recognize. It really just kind of makes the shield unequip and go invisible. But you can still pop it right back on the same way that you normally do. I like that, so I don't have a problem with that. Then there's My Home is Your Home, Tailor's Measure, Unique Armors and Weapons. A lot of these are pretty minor mods. They just allow me to craft things. Or in this case of Tailor's Measure, it allows me to, that's the one that allows me to change NPC clothing and stuff pretty easy. Let's see, so this is no friendly fire, and this is free crafting, which I have noticed lately that sometimes my followers, especially those Atronachs of mine, they still get mad and end up fighting, but they're not a true follower like an amazing follower tweaks follower. The Atronachs are more, well, they're Atronachs, they're summoned followers that I'm not even sure they count towards my follower count. I mean, I'm not sure they count towards my follower limit because they're not a normal follower or a companion follower. Anyway, free crafting basically will allow you to craft anything, any vanilla thing in the game with no perks or materials. Stronger spells and magic. This was something too that we're kind of testing and trying out, and Jade is part of that, just to see how strong some of the spells are, and if this is, you know, helpful. I think it is helpful. I think it's pretty good. Though I am using some Creation Club spells, so sometimes I may be invalidating this a little bit, but not always. Sometimes I'm using normal spells. And the vanilla creatures, the enemies, the mages that shoot me with the ice bolts and kill me, they're using stuff from the game, so they are using the stronger spells, so they do more damage, and it's more hurtfulness for me or for my character. So craftable clothing, no enchantment restrictions, unlimited enchantments, which sounds like this may be kind of the same thing, but it's not. This one is an attempt, the no enchantment restrictions is an attempt to allow you to put any enchantment, any armor enchantment on any piece of armor. It's not 100%, but it's the best I've seen yet. It's 90-some%. This allows you to add an unlimited number of enchantments to an item. And I have tested it and gone overboard with it, as you may have seen and remember, but you know, I would advise, you know, try to restrain yourself a little bit, but I think I've had like 30 or more enchants on one item, you know, and it worked, and the game didn't really fuss at me, or it seemed to work. This is unlimited summons. We did a show on this one, and just allows you to have a lot of Atronachs or thralls summoned. Superhuman jumping, the one I call super jumping a lot. That's really that. Rallies road signs. I don't think I have gotten to that show yet, but I will try to do that as soon as I can. Pardon me. As soon as I can. I have a number of requests to take care of, but it is it's a good mod. I like the signs in my game, so I've taken some pictures, and I think on our Facebook page I have used one of the signs as a Facebook banner for the OwwThatSmarts page. This is the Whiterun, the City of Trees. This is the live version that it uses whatever textures you have. This is the Magical College of Winterhold. Unique Bridges of Skyrim, improved candles. This is Bleak Falls Barrow revisited. Now, this edits Bleak Falls Barrow. The only time I've tested it so far, I had a Riverwood mod in, and the two conflicted, and it caused me a crash, and I decided not to do this yet. So I'm going to do this when I am done. I still have a Riverwood mod installed, and I think that I need to do I need to turn one or the other off. But as long as I don't go to Bleak Falls Barrow, it's okay right now. But they're both trying to edit. The Riverwood mod edits a lot of stuff around Riverwood, so there's some conflict there. I can go to Bleak Falls Barrow, but when I go inside, Having both on at the same time causes a crash, so I'm going to have to give up the Riverwood mod, and you'll see it below if I haven't turned it off already. So this is my powerful torch mod, the cheat room, of course. This is a different lanterns of Skyrim. I've used the lamppost of Skyrim, I think it was, in the past, and I decided to try a different one to see if it worked just as well. So far, this has worked just as well as the other one I used to use. I don't have any trouble with it. So it's, I guess you could say it's not fancy, but it's the lanterns of Skyrim. It adds lampposts on the roads, and anyway, I think it's nice. So this is the goodies chest. The spawn any NPC chest is really what I use it for mainly, but I haven't been using it a lot lately. This is crafting supplies. This is the Riverwood hideout, which is not the Riverwood edit that I'm talking about, or mod that I'm referring to. This is the Opa Armor Replacer. Now this is a bound bow retexture. I have not gotten around to that show yet, but I do want to do that. This is armored circlets and nocturnal's clothes. These are things just to help me out in crafting and doing things. Improved blade stats, craftable light armor, elven light armor, and I think it also involves the ebony mail. This mod is unplayable faction armor. So this is by Nordwar UA. This is the 1K version. So it's a light version. But Jade's armor that she wears comes from this. It's one of the, I'm trying to remember, I think it's one of the Stendarr Paladin sets or something like that. I think someone has a question for me that I haven't answered yet, and I apologize. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get around to answering questions, because I'll see somebody asked a question, but it's at a time that is really just, I'm not really online. Maybe me and the toaster's doing something or whatever, who knows. But so I don't think I've gotten around to answering that yet, but this is where I got Jade's armor from, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the Vigilant of Stendarr sets, just so you know. And then it has a number of sets that are fun that you can fool around with. This is the Rebellion Pirate Armor, also by Nordwar UA. Now this was ported by Raxinate. Was this ported by Raxinate? Let me look. Some are, and some are by someone else. Yeah, Raxinate. I thought so. Okay, so both of those are ported by Raxinate, and they're both good. The Ennead, banners, and shield. I was going to do a show on this, but I haven't gotten to it. You can see banners and shields in my game, though. Fancy bows, I've done a show on that before, and I like those bows. Katana crafting, I really like that. Unbound weaponry. Now, I have not done the show on these yet either. This is supposed to just take bound weapons and make them craftable. So we'll see how that goes. So my experiment that I tried a long time ago, I'm just continuing using Lynn's Skyrim Mpc overhaul. The main reason I use this is this overhaul actually makes a whole bunch of the guys look a lot better. It really does. It makes them look a lot better. And then on top of that, and it does improve a lot of the girls too. But on top of that, I do the Botox so that I get what I consider to be the best looking girls with the best looking guys that I can find. And then we do the children overhaul, and that's about as good as I can get. As far as all the people in the game look about as good as I can make them. And yeah, the courier and some people still look terrible, but you know, you just do what you can do. There is a courier overhaul that makes the courier, well, it's a replacer, really makes the courier a girl, but for some reason, that just doesn't really appeal to me properly. It doesn't seem right. Whatever. It's one of those things you can't necessarily explain, but I would like to have a good career replacer and not one that makes them a mud crab or something, you know, but whatever. So, here we have Marvelous Mirabelle. I like that mod. And, we have the Enhanced Atronach, which I really like. And I'm just having fun with that again. This is just a weight change from y'all, and let's see, Ashara, Merchants and Traders, and of course, to go with the rebalanced encounters, I brought back the Deadly Draugr of Skyrim. Now, I don't have the winches mods in this load order, but this is working really well with the rebalanced encounter zones, and the Draugr are good and tough, and strong. So it's interesting to have the different. Plus, I did a show on this, but the game and the mod were not entirely cooperative. Some of it is kind of randomized, so you never know when you're going to get some Draugr that show up, like on the road or out in the wild, or when you're going to get some really tough Draugr that show in your dungeon. It's just kind of, some of it's a little randomized, and so I'm still, you know, that's still part of my playing and testing just for fun. And then this is a follower mod I wanted to check out, and another follower mod I wanted to check out, and a whole pack of followers I wanted to check out. And I was revisiting Red Sonja because JWD made a basically a head only with no, I think this has no texture, and she really looks good. Occasionally I get a glitch where I have two Red Sonjas in Riverwood. I will just consider that a bonus. I don't consider that a bad thing. And this was another follower I was going to check out. And let's see, this is just the Jarl Elisif, which is cool. This is KS Hairdos Light. Nothing fancy here in any of this. Definitive Beauty Pack. Now, I am doing some things which R246 would probably fuss at me for, but I'm doing some of this, and as long as I get kind of the results I want, I'm okay with it. Okay. So I have R246 concept here, and this is also experimental, and you may, depending on what you're doing, you may not always get the results you want. I don't always get the results I want either, but I'm trying. You know, just trying to see what I can get. So anyway, I am using the character editor here because this opens up a lot of options for you. Now, understand that you may not get all the options fully available for every race, because R246 kind of, even though it's not below it, it still beats it or makes some changes that it doesn't appear to be able to beat, or maybe that this character editor does not do all the open all the options for all the races like I thought it did. But it does give you a lot more options regardless. And then I like the green girl, so I keep that around. The only thing you have to remember with that is I think the R246 concept kind of messes with the eyes a little bit, but you can easily adjust that. Or at least I've been able to, and I've been satisfied with it. Plus, I use it as a base, as a kind of a base, a starting point. I don't use it as a totally unchanged. I just use it as a starting point, and then I always change her up a little bit. That's where Jade came from, or comes from. Better Mail presets, the Opa Body Replacer. Now this is Wickwaz, the newer one. I like the chainmail, and then further down you'll see I have a texture for it that makes the chainmail black. This is just natural. I keep coming back to natural eyes. Every other eye mod I try either has some conflict or issue with what I'm doing, and I keep coming back to it because eyes are such a small part of your character, and you really don't see them. They don't make the huge impact that I wish they did. But too, I've tried like I said, a lot of the mods, and I'm just not, I guess I'm not getting a big difference there. So anyway, so then we have my skin textures, and then I get into some new textures, which we haven't done shows on. I haven't explained and gone through a lot of these, but they're in the game, and we're just testing and trying them out. The Tamriel Ik Textures. This is a big landscaping type of texture. It doesn't affect your grass and trees. Let's see. And it talks about, let's see what they say it does. Let's see, high quality textures for Skyrim. This first, I guess this is the first milestone or first piece, focuses on landscape textures. Replacement maps for terrains, mountains, dirt, cliffs, and roads. Effectively, all textures you can find under, and they give this folder, which I'm not sure how that really applies for the Xbox, but maybe that same folder structure is there. And then, you know, they mention that you get some diversified environment, and meadows and wastelands and beaches, rugged mountain ranges. Overall, I would say this mod is a winner. I like this mod. It's a little big, but it does some cool stuff. And I did find one area where there's one thing that's wrong, and if I can find that again when I do the show, I'll show that. But it's just one flaw in one place. I did hit a glitch one day where my terrain or my textures did not totally load, and so I had a seam running down the middle of my screen, and on the right hand side you could see where the texture had loaded properly, and on the left hand side you could see where it didn't. And I took a screenshot of that. But then I turned around a few minutes later, and I forget what I did. Anyway, the textures loaded. Just went ploop, popped in, and that was it. So it was something, like I say, it was kind of a glitch with the game. I don't think there was anything wrong with the mod. I think just for whatever reason, that's what the game did. And it was doing it like right at my feet, not like far off distance, not, you know, but it was like right at my feet and running up the screen. So, alright, and so then too, I'm doing the Tamriel retextured architecture, and if you wonder about the architecture in my game, that's where this is coming from. Now, it doesn't change everything. It covers Whiterun, Solitude, Riften, farmhouses, Dwemer ruins, forts, and mines. So mainly wooden things, but it does cover Dwemer ruins and some Solitude stuff, so I'm not sure how much of that. I'm not sure how much of Solitude is affected. So, I'm just saying. Here I have a big Skyrim creature overhaul. This actually does some pretty cool stuff. It overhauls all these creatures. And I have noticed the wolves and the foxes and different things. It also adds some creatures either. Let me check something real fast. Let me make sure. Actually, see, I have a combination of wildlife things going on. So we'll talk about each of these as we go, okay? Alright. This is a basic overhaul. So it is supposed to give them a better, texture and make them look better. It also changes their mesh somewhat. It updates almost 40 vanilla creatures with HD textures. Okay? And then it lists these creatures here. So that's what this does. It updates about 40 creatures with HD textures. And I have seen that these creatures tend to look better. But some of these are also affected by the mods I have down below, so we'll get to that. Definitely the spiders look better and grosser, but better. I think they listed foxes twice. Anyway, So, and here they mentioned the mod authors, because this is basically a package and a port. So, but it's very good, and it makes some of your creatures look a lot better. This is the Chantry College of Winterhold. This is really just giving you a texture, a retexture of the College of Winterhold. That's why I'm still using the Magical College of Winterhold. You'll notice they even mentioned that it's still compatible. This is just a retexture, and I haven't had a chance to do a show on that, though you may see where I've been there at some point. And they just talk about it. Some people don't think it's lore friendly, I guess, but they did it because they liked it. And, you know, if they like it, that's cool. I was trying it out just for fun. This is Hype 1 all-in-one door merge. Okay, there are a ton of mods. Well, maybe a ton is wrong, but you'll see here. There's a merge of this is a merge of the following mods. All those gates and doors are modded by this mod. Let me scroll up here. Now, this is one of Stone Spiral Gaming has been porting a lot of cool stuff, and this is one of those things. And I like this because it really does affect almost every door in the game from what I've been seeing, whether it be in a fort or in a dwarven dwemer place or in the towns. It seems like everybody has a cooler looking door, and some of the doors have little, I don't think switches is the right way to say it, but they almost have like little latches and different things on them that move when you open the door, and I think it's very nice. I haven't seen any issues with it, and it's worked very well. So, Orc Settlements, I haven't had a chance to check that out, so I can't speak to how good it looks. But I'm going to get there. I will. This is Ik's Floral Collection. So a lot of the flowers in my game are from this. And I think they look very nice. Let me look here and see what they say. This is a port of the Floral Collection with optimized and smaller textures for the console. That's fine. Let's see, consists of a large collection of Winterhold 311's old floral textures. Dating Signal has allowed them to include the Deathbell textures, and someone else's Discovery 01's Reach Fern texture, so that's nice. Someone else allowed for a glowing mushroom mesh. Okay, and then we have some mountain flowers and some other high poly ferns. Oops, I went with the wrong stick. Sorry about that. So what's their idea here? Their two main aims is to provide as much variety in the flora as possible, and the second to be released alongside my Whiterun Overhaul, as it was designed and planted using these textures and would look silly in parts otherwise. Oh. The Overhaul broke on me, and I'm going to have to start again, so I thought I would upload this first instead. Well, this Floral Collection, or Flora Collection, I think it looks pretty good. If you notice the flowers and things in my game, I thought they looked good. Okay, they go into a lot of changes here. So, so there you go. I haven't actually done a show on this yet, even though we have been using these flowers for a while now. So here is Real Wildlife by Nedius or Nedius. Now, let me see what this does, because, you know, I have this here, and I read at one time what it did, and I really just don't remember. So anyway, this mod adds variants of all the vanilla creatures in Skyrim. Oh, okay, they will now have an age that correlates to how strong they are. Okay, for now, okay, this is the mod that's adding all the the animal variety. And I even had a mature fox that attacked me one day, which was funny. Anyway, so you'll see all these animals. Older animals that were once peaceful may turn on you and attack in their old age. Beware of charging elk bucks. And yeah, some of the elk are more aggressive than others. And all animals will carry new usable alchemy ingredients, and that's true. I've seen that. Wild herds of horses and cows have been added. I've seen that. Packs of wild dogs roam the wilds and may attack you. Yep. So they've done a lot of things in this little mod. It's not too big, but they've done a lot of stuff, and you can see some of that in my game. So we won't go into all the details since we haven't done a show on this yet. Witcher Decor. This is by, was this ported? This was ported by Stone Spiral Gaming. Wine Dave looks like created the mod. This just adds some Witcher decor to the game. Mainly, what I see that I get out of it mainly is those braziers are more like the Witcher braziers, and they look very nice. I haven't really looked at this at all. This is again ported by Stone Spiral Gaming, the Hyperborean Snow. I need to take a look at that. We have interesting, immersive, lore-friendly, and I think this is wolves. So it replaces the vanilla wolves and most wolf-like things, including the fiery exploding wolf, etc., etc. So this is more creature-oriented, something I was trying, and I have seen some of this in my game. Boreal Boats. I have a number of things that Stone Spiral Gaming put out that I was just trying to see what these things would look like. The boats and things I've looked at have looked pretty good, so I haven't done a show on it yet. This is Clever Sharf's farmhouse stone floors, and I think it looks very good. I've seen the farmhouse floors and all. They look a lot better. This is Clever Sharf's the farmhouse stone walls and textures like that. It's that looks very good too. I've done the Riften roofs are violet just for fun. I've done prismatic insects, and this is some green ivy that you'll see in my game. Renthal 311 did, and Stone Spiral Gaming again ported it. I think it looks good. This is that retexture of the chainmail underwear to black. This is Cathedral Water Overhaul, which I've been using this for a while. It's not anything new. I changed the watercolor by using Skyland's watercolor. This gives it a more blue look, and I really like the blue look, but I would admit sometimes that it looks maybe too blue. You know, kind of a little unrealistically blue. But I like that, and it kind of gives it a sci-fi feel in a way sometimes, so I've left it. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'm not going to keep it forever, but I do like it, so I like the blue look. So there's my map. Vane. I guess we should talk about this. Vane, I think it's Vane. I think the way they do their name is Vane .3805. Let me look at this here. Vane .3805. Yeah, they were trying to, I don't know what happened, but I guess they were trying to say something in Alpine YJ's thread about where Alpine YJ removed a bunch of their mods, saying they didn't want their kids to see it, and they were, I guess, going to be embarrassed by it if their kids saw it when they were older. So anyway, most of their mods I thought were were pretty tame, but if it embarrasses you, it still embarrasses you, so that's fine. But nonetheless, so they removed a whole lot of their mods. I won't say that they removed everything, but they removed a lot, and some of the ones they removed were mods I really enjoyed and I've used off and on, but now those mods are gone, so there's nothing I can do about that. Well, Vane 0.3805, I guess, had tried to make some sort of response and somehow got in trouble and has been banned. And now, because they're banned and they're mad at Bethesda, they've really, you know, kind of crippled a lot of their mods. So you don't want to update any of these mods, because the mod truly is not deleted, but basically if I accepted the update, I would get this teeny tiny file, which would probably have nothing in it. It would probably be basically an empty file. And so really, when modders do this, the only thing is, okay, and I say this to Vane or Alpine YJ or anybody else, I guess, you know, it's your port and it's your port or your mod, because in some cases it's your mod. And so I guess, you know, it's your choice and your option what you do, but you're not really hurting Bethesda. When you do these things, when you protest or do whatever, and you're mad at Bethesda, and I understand you're mad at Bethesda, that's fine. You're really not hurting Bethesda. You're not really hurting your target. You're really just hurting people who are using your mod or your port out here on Bethesda.net. Just other people just playing on their Xbox. Those are the people you end up hurting. So I understand your frustration and your aggravation, and you get mad, and I totally get that, and I appreciate that. And if you want to remove all your mods, I mean, that is your right. That is, they're under your name, and I guess you have that control of them, obviously. The people who end up using your mods or playing with your mods, we end up being kind of the innocent victims of all this, and we're at everybody's mercy. We're at Bethesda's mercy when they're wrong, and then we're at the modder's mercy when the modder is upset or, you know, doing something like this. So now there's a whole bunch of mods. Well, I mean, not only, so the issue is compounded. Not only did we lose like Alpine YJ's mods, but at least temporarily, and there's nothing to guarantee that it is just temporary, we have lost all of Vane 0.3805's mods that I see. Well, maybe not all of them, but all the ones I have seen, they're all like this. And if you update them by accident, which some people do go ahead and update their mods without really paying that much attention, then you're going to lose the mod, at least temporarily. Because, and this is kind of a weird way to do it. I've never seen it done this way, where basically it's just, I think the file, if I updated it, this would just be empty. And so I would lose the mod, but technically the empty file would still be sitting there, taking up space in my load order. And I guess they did this differently because they are thinking they'll bring it back when their ban is over. I don't know. Nonetheless, again, it's just one of those situations, and it just shows how I would like to see Bethesda do something different in the next game and allow us, you know, I still want us to be able to mod our games, but I would like to see them do something different where we can actually download a mod and save it over to the side, kind of like you would on a PC, and you can keep as many mods as you want, and you can save them and organize them yourself, and then you could, you know, turn them off and on, but you wouldn't have such a limit that you would have to, you know, we have such a tiny limit that we really have to pick and choose. And if somebody takes a mod down while we're not using it and it's not in our load order, then it's gone forever, you know, and we can't get it back. So I would really like to see a change to that. You could easily allow us to have and save mods, even the ones we're not using, so that we wouldn't necessarily lose them so easily. And it would be a little bit more like the PC. It would never be, I guess, exactly like the PC, but because they want to control it and keep it, you know, closed in a certain way. So, but they could sort of open up the space and just allow us to keep, you know, a lot more mods at least. So there you go. And they could up the limit on the number of mods we use or keep. and just let us break the game if that's what we want to do. That's our problem. It'd be our fault. Alright, so anyway, to continue on, let me go back down. Now we're going to hit that image bug at some point. And I know this is being a lot longer than I had thought it would be. I thought I'd do this quickly, but I've gotten into a lot of different discussion and things. So, I apologize. Anyway, so we're nearing the end though. So anyway, so I'm keeping these mods here. And I don't want to update them and accidentally empty them. The problem is I'm probably going to have to blow my space away at some point because of the way I treat my space in my games pretty horribly, because I'm doing these shows and I bring mods in and out all the time, and eventually I'm going to have to blow this space away and redo my game. So at that time I will probably lose some of these nice little mods, and that is my favorite Serana mod, and I hate to lose it, but I probably will at some point. I'll just have to do the best I can. Anyway, so these are a few little replacers. I like, for Uthgard and Mjall, it's very hard. I don't even like the Bijan replacers, and I don't like any of the other replacers for them. Everybody seems to do them in weird ways, so I use these two more vanilla looking replacers, but I like them. Of course, here we have alternate start. There we're getting the image thing. This is the Riverwood edit or enhancement or replacer. It changes a lot of this area around Riverwood and not just Riverwood. So, and it conflicts, and it would conflict with most anything else that puts edits in that area, because it does a lot. You'll notice it says it wants to recreate and enhance the landscape, and it actually changes the landscape and adds new hills and waterfalls, and etc., etc. So, and there is a patch for it down below too, but it conflicts with the Bleakwood Falls mod that I have. So I will probably do a show on this one. Well, maybe I'll turn this off and do a show on Bleakwood Falls, or I'll do a show on this one and then remove it and do a show on Bleakwood Falls. Because somehow they're editing the same cell and it's causing an issue. So, alright, so then we have this new XP32 skeleton along with the TBBP animations and ragdoll settings. It's all in one mod for Morrigan the Hellsing. So far I've had no issues with this, and I'm using it. This patch still seems to work with it. I haven't totally paid close attention and tested it out, but I'm pretty sure it's still working with it, because this is a lot of the same stuff that this was attached to anyway. But I do need to more closely examine that. So, right now it doesn't cause any harm, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to make sure it's working. Let's see, this is a patch for the tree mods I'm using. It's supposed to help with the that's the patch I made to see the LOD of these three mods at the same time. It's supposed to help with the LOD for that. This is my Dual Sun. Oh, I messed up the image, sorry. The Dual Sun animation replacer. It's the one-handed that I like. So, color patches remover. This is New Beginnings. Is this Nesbit or is this Peril 21? Or who is this? I think the modder is Peril 21, and they say Magus 80 down here. But I think their name, as far as on Bethesda Net goes, it's Peril 21. Nonetheless, this adds some more options to your alternate start, and I have not tested it yet, but it does appear to work. I've been doing some new people, and I haven't had any issues. So I need to go in and test some of these in particular and see how they work out. This is female orcs use female animations, which we know that works. This is Leave My Eyes Alone AFT, another one of the vein mods I told you about. This is Unique Locations Riverwood. This is a patch for alternate start for this. And notice that they say that the Riverwood location, forest, the Riverwood change, has to be under alternate start, live another life. So that's why I have this down here instead of the way I normally do things. Normally I would have this Riverwood mod change. Where's alternate start at? Did I just blow by it? Normally I would have this up with my other world changes. So, alright, so let me see here. So I've been going at this a long time. I apologize for that. So this is more females, unplayable factions. This is just a patch for that. This is Rich Merchants of Skyrim. Now after this, I have some flying mods or things that I think are similar to flying mods that we're going to test out and try out. So these are not turned on. They're not put in any particular position or place. I've just dumped them down here at the bottom because I'm going to try them out. They're part of a request. So this is my load order as it is, and the mods that I'm using, and you can use this information however you wish. I often get notes from people regarding the way I do my load order. You know, this is just something I started doing, and it works for me. And you know, you don't have to follow my load order. You can follow. There's several varieties, several load order guides that you can follow out there if you want. That's no problem. Mainly, I just do this so that you know what I'm using in my game currently. This is going to be subject to change, and I hope in the next few weeks to basically get through all the shows for this load order, for this list of mods, and then try to take and redo something different. Now at the same time, I may totally wreck some of these games because I'm going to do some other shows on some replacers and different things, because I'm not going to let my fooling around hold up the shows. So so just so you're aware of that. And I should probably go back to not using my game for the and my testing and all that. I should probably use the Toaster's machine more for that. But I had started doing that, but then I don't know, I just wanted to make another game here and do something different, so I did. So, and it is easier to use my own machine than use the Toaster's machine, even though it's not that difficult. It's just sometimes it's just easier to do this myself on my machine. So anyway, I am rambling again. So that is my load order mod list video, and I probably won't do another one for at least another month, but I know I've probably been due to do this, and this has changed a little bit since last month, but not greatly, but it has changed somewhat. I think last month I probably had a few more things in this list that I was testing, and I think I've removed some of those things. So you may notice some difference. Alright. So, well, thank you for watching. Hope you're staying safe out there. Remember to stay safe. Watch out for yourself and your family, and, you know, maybe watch out for others if you can. But mainly, you know, make sure you're staying safe. I will try to keep some sort of content going on the channel, because I know people have more time and are stuck at home a lot. So hopefully I can do my little part to make it a little bit easier on you. If nothing else, from the way some people speak or say, maybe you can use my video as a sedative and go to sleep, you know. Alright. Okay, so anyway, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.